All right, hey everyone. Welcome back to local battles at the Fort Lee location. I'm Eric the Red, and I'm here with Wendy. We are casting a PVZ on Daybreak. It's going to be a AGIANTSMURF, the Protoss.
And it's going to be DuSk, the red Zerg, up in the upper right corner of MLG's Daybreak, which is the latter edition, coincidentally, which I think has kind of been a debated thing amongst players in the professional scene, is the fact that the GSL version of Daybreak has only 6 mineral patches and a rich Vespian Geyser, whereas the MLG version has the latter edition, which is a regular expansion, 8 mineral patches, and 2 regular geysers.
Right. It may not come into play every single game, but I'm sure.
I think it's worth noting that it's a little bit easier for Protoss to take that forward base than
definitely
if
easier
to
to
take
turtle.
that base over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be easier to turtle on this map, on this version of the map. DuSk, I know a little bit about, actually know quite a bit about him because he is another one of my teammates from Rutgers. But I don't know, his ZVP style, I haven't actually played a lot of games with him, so I'm not too sure what we'll see out of him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it looks like we're just going to see standard Forge or Nexus first from AGIANTSMURF. Already has that pylon down there in the lower position.
Now, Daybreak is one of those maps. Zergs will 6-pool. It's a 2-player map. You know where your opponent spawns no matter where you are on the map.
Yeah.
Whether you're top or bottom, you know where your opponent is going to be. So 6-pooling is not something that's out of the question. You'll more likely see it in a heavy best of 7, 9 series.
Yeah.
Best of 3, probably not. But you can see, the AGIANTSMURF probably gearing up to go ahead for a Nexus first.
Yeah,
I'm actually quite familiar with him as a player. He plays in a lot of Alt StarCraft events.
Yeah.
And I've known him for quite a while. He is a wonderful gentleman. Happy to be here casting.
Yeah,
and,
actually, one of the best up-and-coming guys out of the North American scene, I think.
Yeah, we'll be seeing. He will be making big splashes in months to come. Now, 17 Nexus, that's pretty much indicative of a Protoss player who did not cut any probes together. They're a natural Nexus, if you will.
Yeah, it's a nice economic build.
Yep, gets down that. Probably will get that forge down. Actually makes another probe. Probably feeling incredibly safe. You saw that pool go down. You saw the hatch go down. He actually opted not to block it, which is fine. You won't see many Protosses block that natural hatch from going down. Just
not with the Nexus first, anyway.
Yeah, it's too much of a sacrifice. Overlord will come in. Gateway will go down. And you'll probably see an additional pylon plus a core. And, gases will follow suit. So, Protoss, I like this opening from AGIANTSMURF.
Yeah.
You usually will see the Forge go down, at least just because on ladder you have to be a little bit worried about
and DuSk did go for 15 pool before hatch, so there's always a chance for some light pressure if you delay that Forge significantly. But yeah, it looks like DuSk actually taking that gas quite early.
That's I'm gonna think he's probably gonna go for a Ling-based mid game. Usually some Zergs favor roaches these days, but a gas at that time is pretty negative. He's going to probably put all his drones in there, get speed, leave them in there, and in about 6 minutes, 30 seconds, take 2 additional, or maybe even 3 additional gas, get those 1-1 upgrades for his Lings.
Yeah, and he is taking that third, so it's not going to be any one of these super fast roach rushes or anything like that. You could still go into a later roach rush or a baneling bust off of 3 hatches. He just would use that third hatch for larva only. But again, I mean, he's got a pretty good wall in, so I don't think DuSk would be able to do too much damage with something like that.
Yeah, and what's important to know about the Wallin is the fact there's no pylons exposed. This pylon's recessed. This is going to be walled off, plugged with a single zealot in there. That's just actually starting up now. But Smurf playing very, very greedy, and I like that. He's trying to see what he can get away with. Perhaps he was watching. He hit a buy in the first round. DuSk did not. So it's quite possible that Smurf was actually watching his opponent, and that's kind of the benefit of live events. You can kind of scout out your opponent and see his style. Like if DuSk wasn't going for any aggressive styles against, no matter what the race, he's like, okay, he's kind of it tends to try macro game. I'll play it that way. Drones pulled off gas though.
Yeah, just getting that speed. It's it's going to be helpful for map control early on. He'll be able to see what's going. It'll keep a couple Lings in the watchtowers and. Actually going to deny the Zealot with perfect micro. He should be able to kill that, and
it's very 4 Lings is enough to kill a Zealot, but Smurf microing himself as well, being able to target fire those Lings.
Yeah,
very, 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 very tough to micro 4 Lings, but slow Lings actually a little bit easier than speed Lings.
Oh yeah,
but actually DuSk hiding a bit of Lings over here. Yeah, about 8 Lings over here, 4 more on the way. Supply blocked right now. I wonder if he's going to try and maybe get a run by in.
The position of those Lings, it's not like he just forgot about them. His rally wouldn't just be over there.
Yeah, no, you can see his normal rallies right there.
Yeah.
So he's intentionally rallying the larva there. Speed is going to finish in the next few seconds here. Perhaps he's going for some kind of... wow, it's a lot of Lings.
Yeah, this can definitely punish a Protoss who tries to take a third too early. If he were just to try to go with a couple sentries and take a third, it would not do anything. But again, he just wasted a force field there, and that might have been the force field that he needed to hold off this big Ling rung by.
This is pretty intense, man. More Lings are streaming forward. DuSk really committing this. Only had 23
look,
drones.
So many Lings in production. This is a crazy build. Actually, no. I am recognizing this build now. This is going to be hardcore Lings and into Mutalisk eventually, but no force field, and it's going to get straight through. This is a build that actually I just played against yesterday, and it's so powerful if you do not have enough sentries. And being a little bit greedy here, getting his Observer first, it's not going to have anything to do with this many Speedlings. This is such an unconventional build, but again, very powerful.
Yeah, Probe's going to have to be used to an assault. We'll be pulled off the line. This might be the end of Smurf right here. This is going to be very, very tough. Warp Gate is finishing. However, when he has one gate done, Smurf will GG. And
what an upset. I mean, that's insane. I don't think anybody expected a build like that to work against a giant Smurf.
I think he just didn't have that sentry. If he had that sentry in hold position, he probably would have been able to get out the other sentry. He might have lost that first sentry to the Lings, but he would have at least bought himself a little bit more time. So I don't think it would have been an end game there for Smurf. I definitely think you could have mitigated a lot of damage.
It's just funny because, I mean, the backstory to this is that yesterday I was playing some customs with my friend Mike. He goes on ladder as Mike. He's actually, almost Grandmaster's level. But he was talking about this new build he was trying out where you would just go mass Speedlings on 3 base, and maybe you get a macro hatch, and then eventually you would just transition into Mutalisks. And it's a really annoying